just wanted to share with you guys just an awesome love story that God has created in my life. And so just kind of want to share some of my testimony. So when I was really, really young, I accepted Christ at a really young age. Both my parents were Christians, and they brought me up in the Lord. And so when I accepted Christ, I remember I believed that by his death, he died with my sins on the cross. And then through that, I was going to heaven. I mean, that's awesome. And I was like, oh man, I'm on that. Like, I totally believe that. But I thought that there was more to it, though. I didn't hear the whole story. And so after I received Christ as my Savior Lord, I kind of just decided to live my own life. We would go to church sometimes, my family and I, but nothing really took real root in my life. I just kind of started living my own life in my own way. And so eventually my family and I, we moved to Missouri, and I grew up there for about 13 years. And during that time, man, I just lived a life that worked to please others. I put others on a pedestal rather than God. I just wanted to please others. I found my identity in seeing how much I could please others, because if people thought good of me, well of me, then okay, I must be a good person, I must be okay. You know, I put God on the back burner, honestly. Like, I knew he was there, but I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm going to heaven, so it's cool, I'm just going to live my life, you know, and I just worked to please others. And that's, I just looked for security and hope and happiness in people, and every time that I did that, it failed me every day. I mean, it got so bad where I lost friends, and I eventually lost trust with my family for a time. And so when all that began building up, my world eventually just came crashing down, because I worked so hard at gaining the approval of other people and what they thought of me. And when I poured into them, but I didn't get any back, that just ruined me, because I was just like, I've been working so hard, I've been spending all this time, and I'm getting nothing back. What is going on? And so, in Galatians 1:10, this kind of described me at the time. Just says, am I trying to win the approval of men or of God? Or am I trying to please men? If I were still trying to please men, I would not be a servant of Christ. So I was living a life that was trying to please men. I mean, I wasn't, in no way, I was trying to please God by any means. So I wasn't a servant of Christ. I wasn't getting anywhere. I kept running myself into the ground trying to please others, and it was just a failure. So when I got into high school, around my sophomore year of high school, I went to a lock-in, and the pastor was just telling us how not only did Christ die on the cross and suffer for us and die with our sins on the cross so we can go to heaven, but this just blows my mind every time. He died on the cross for us so that we could have an intimate relationship with him, one that's transforming, one that's personal and deep and so intimate. And when I heard that, I was just like, oh my gosh, this makes sense. I get it. I mean, my whole life, I knew that I was going to heaven, but like, I just always wondered if there was more. And it was just never really explained to me. And I just never really got it until now. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I can, because Jesus died for me, and I could have this relationship with the Father now, like God used me as perfect and holy, and I can have a personal relationship with him, this just changes everything. And so every time that I was trying to have a meaningful relationship with my friends and pouring into them, Jesus, during that time, was showing me that nothing or no one could satisfy that need for a relationship that I desired with others, but him alone. And so after I had recommitted my life to Christ, after that, I had entered a deep intimacy with him, just falling more in love with him. I mean, I began reading my Bible and praying and like I got involved with just a church youth group. Just learning more about Jesus and experiencing fellowship with other believers who love Jesus as well. And the more I did these things, the more I fell in love with Jesus, and the more I wanted to please him. And it was just amazing because ever since that I realized that I could have a relationship with the Father, my walk has been life-changing. I mean, when I got into college, like I knew that I wanted to get involved, that I wanted to grow. And so when I was going to school in Missouri, I got involved with Navigators. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that. And man, God he just transformed my life. I mean, it's just amazing. I just grew so much in him. And then God brought me here. He's brought me through many challenges, but he's been so faithful to me. And just through this walk, God has shown me that he's my best friend. And he's my heavenly sweetheart. And I love that. I love that I can be so intimate with the Father and with the Son, because everything else in this world is going to fail. But I've been able to find a treasure that will stand firm forever. And there's no greater joy than that, guys. So in 1 John 3:1, sorry, just blows my mind every time that I love meaning to. It says, how great is the love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. So through that verse, I mean, God really taught me a lot through this verse. I mean, just knowing that God's love is so out of this world, is so amazing, that like little me, he wants to lavish his love on. That blows my mind every time. And so it changes me. And so I've been able to experience God's love on a whole new different level. And so through that intimacy and just being able to just every day learn more about his love, I am able to love people the way God intended me to love on people, and to pour into them the way God intended me to. Not in a way that put them on the pedestal, but just a way that I'm pouring into people God's love, and sharing his love with Peter, or for them. So I want to jump to 1 Peter 1. I was like, Peter. Yes, let's go to 1 Peter 1, 21 through 22. You guys read this morning. And this one just speaks so much on how he pours our love into us, and through us, he pours his love onto others. So through him you believe in God, who raised him from the dead and glorified him. And so your faith and hope are in God. Now that you've purified yourselves by obeying the truth, so that you have sincere love for your brothers, love one another deeply from the heart. So because I've been purified with Christ and I have this intimate relationship with him, I am able to love my brothers and sisters with a sincere heart, with a heart that's only shaped by God. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.